Welcome back. Consumer protection experts at both the state and local level are hearing about a new type of ripoff making the rounds. Investigators call it the family in need scam. After carefully gathering information about you and your loved ones from social networking sites and or the internet, con artists rely heavily on personal relationships to coerce you into sending them money. They try to convince you a relative is in trouble and needs your help. The circumstances usually involve unexpected legal trouble or an arrest that requires a large amount of money fast. They'll often make emotional pleas while telling you to keep the matter to yourself to spare the family embarrassment. The would-be thief will almost always tell you to send a money order or get the money to them through some other means that does not require ID. At the end of it all, you'll easily believe you're helping a loved one only to find out someone else walked away with your money. Joining us now is Kevin Jackson. He's with Consumer Protection in Hillsborough County. Now, you and I have been talking about this for a couple of weeks now. I know your office has gotten some calls. Why is this so believable when people get this call?
Well, it's that element of surprise. You hear about a family member or a friend that's in need or an emergency situation, and you want to help. The instinct is that you want to help someone that you love and know and get them out of that jam.
How do these folks come up with details that they can use on the phone that make this so believable?
A lot of it comes from online. I think those consumers who are not frequenting the social networking sites, only transact business on secure internet sites and do their business, might be a little bit better off than those that are, out there tremendously on the internet and sharing information about their personal life, their family, and their friends, especially with names.
Now, if you get a call that your niece, your nephew, grandson, granddaughter is in trouble, something's happened to them, you need to wire money, how do you verify that?
Well, ask a lot of questions. Ask those personal questions that only they're going to know. And after that, try to verify. Call another family member that may know about that person's situation, where they're at. If it involves a jail, a hospital, or some other jurisdiction, try to call a third party and verify what they're telling you is true.
For people who become prey to something like this, after the fact, who can they call for help or an investigation?
Well, if someone has actually lost money, fell for it, lost money, then they need to call their local law enforcement agency and make a report. If they just received the call and they recognize it as a scam, try to get as much information as you can and then report it on fraud.org. That's the National Consumer Complaint Information Center.
I was just looking at some figures that Consumer Reports released a week or so ago regarding how many people are now using Facebook, millions and millions, and social networking sites. What do you suggest to folks who are on these sites as far as kind of safeguarding themselves so this doesn't happen?
Well, reports like this, just be careful. This scam is out there, and if you're on that site, you clearly have information out there that other people can use to commit this type of crime. So just be aware of it, and if you get that kind of call, recognize that it could be a problem.
Kevin Jackson, Hillsborough County Consumer Protection, thanks so much for joining us. And coming up next week on Consumer Alert, who can you trust when it comes to financial planning and investing your money? We have expert advice, and that's next Monday.